City Council meeting with a pledge to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You'll remain standing. Councilman Marna Kirkpatrick will lead us in tonight's invocation.
Please bow your head. Dear Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for these 3 police officers who are getting sworn in tonight, Father God, and I pray that you bring them home safely to their families at night and just bless their career. Father God, I pray that Councilman Lowry has a fun trip and a safe travel back home. And dear Lord, clear our minds to be conducting our meeting tonight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Marna, and you may be seated. I will ask our clerk, Sarah Young, to call the roll.
Kirkpatrick.
Yes, ma'am.
Trigg. Norris.
Here.
Shoemaker.
Here.
Neal.
Here.
Wilkinson.
Here.
Bunnell.
Present.
Burris.
Here.
Lowry.
Here.
All right, and I think we should note that City Councilman Chastity Lowry is with us via Zoom tonight. This is our most adventurous trip into Zoom. She is, what's the name of the town in Italy you're in?
We're in Rome.
Oh, okay. So Chastity is here tonight. She's going to be fully participating in the meeting tonight. Thank you all for being here. The next item of business is to approve our agenda that we're going to be operating under tonight. You have received that back at the end of last week. You've had a chance to look at the agenda, and I will entertain a motion that we proceed utilizing the agenda as it was presented.
Motion, Bunnell.
Okay, and do you have a second to that?
Second.
Second from Councilman Neal. Okay, we have a motion and a second. And is there any discussion about the proposed agenda? There being none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. We will proceed with tonight's agenda as it was presented to you. And the first item of business is to approve the minutes from the council meeting we had back on June the 8th. You've had a chance to read over those minutes. We want to enter them into the record, but I would entertain a motion that we approve those minutes as they were written.
Motion.
From Councilman Kirkpatrick, is there a second?
Second, Norris.
Okay, all right, we have a motion and a second. Is there a discussion on approving these minutes into the record? Okay, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, like sign. All right, the minutes are now entered into the record book. We have some presentations to get the meeting started. I'm going to ask our Police Chief Guy Howie to come to the podium, and we are going to meet some special people here.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I'd like to swear in 3 new officers. If I could get Jaden Alley to come forward, please. Mayor, Council, this is Officer Jaden Alley. He's originally from Greene County, a graduate of Metcalfe County High School. He moved to Barron County when he met his wife, Alexis, and he's called it home ever since. He's the father to 1 child and the owner of 3 dogs. Becoming a police officer has been a dream since he was a young boy, and he has been given the opportunity to serve the city of Glasgow. Mayor.
We're going to make it official. Am I okay, Cody? We're going to make it official. If you will raise your right hand, I will read the oath. You listen carefully and tell me if you agree with what we've said here, okay? Yes, sir. I, Jaden Alley, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and that I will faithfully execute to the best of my ability the office of police officer according to law. And I do further solemnly swear that since the adoption of this present Constitution, I have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within this state nor out of it, nor have I accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have I acted as a second in carrying a challenge, nor have I aided or assisted any person thus offending, so help me God. I further solemnly swear that I am able to read and write the English language intelligibly, that I am sober, moral, and sagacious, and that I am at least 21 years of age, and that I have never been convicted of a felony, that as a police officer I will not interfere in any election, that I will endeavor to the best of my ability to detect and prosecute all gamblers and others violating the laws against gaming. Do you agree with everything that I've read there, Mr. Jaden Alley?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Well, congratulations. You are an esteemed member of the Glasgow Police Department.
At this time, we're going to ask his wife, Alexis, to come up and pin his badge.
Jaden's wife is Allie. Did you go by Allie? Alexis Alley, come on up here. We've got some pinning to do right here. This is the hardest part. That looks good. Congratulations. We're glad to have you, very much so. Thank you, sir.
Officer Ryan Bliss, if you'll come forward.
I think that everybody needs to notice in the back of the room that these fellow officers are here to welcome these new officers to the force. And I just think that is something that, I don't know if Cody can get a shot of that for the people at home watching TV, but I'm just really tickled that they're here to see our three new officers being sworn in. This is Ryan Bliss. Ryan, you okay tonight?
Yes, sir.
I'm really excited about reading you this oath of office, and I'll ask you to step up right here and raise your right hand. Wait a minute, Chief Howie's got something he wants to say.
Sir, Officer Bliss is originally from Indiana. He attended Indiana Tech in Fort Wayne, Indiana for a degree in criminal justice with a minor in psychology. He graduated in 2022. Prior to him coming here, he worked at a jail for 2.5 years. He was visiting here this past September with some friends. He seemed to enjoy Glasgow. He stopped by the police department, applied, and he is now with us. Officer Ryan Bliss.
We're glad that worked out. We're going to make it official right here, okay? Raise your right hand and listen to what I've got to say. I, Ryan Bliss, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, that I will faithfully execute to the best of my ability the office of police officer according to law, and that I do further solemnly swear that since the adoption of this present Constitution, I have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within this state nor out of it, nor have I accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have I acted as a second in carrying a challenge, nor aided or assisted any person thus offending, so help me God. I further solemnly swear that I am able to read and write the English language intelligibly, that I am sober, moral, and sagacious, that I am at least 21 years of age, that I have never been convicted of a felony, that as a police officer I will not interfere in any election, that I will endeavor to the best of my ability to detect and prosecute all gamblers and others violating the laws against gaming. Do you agree with everything that I've read to you?
Yes, sir, I do.
Let me shake your hand and welcome you as a member of the Glasgow Police Department, sir.
Up to pin his badge.
Who did you designate to do the pinning?
My mom.
Your mom. Hi, Mom. How are you doing? Come up here and make yourself known.
I'm trying not to cry.
Well, you know, it's okay if you do.
Drove all the way from Michigan City, Indiana to be here.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty far.
It's
You
a
know where that
drive.
is? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That's a neat story. Kind of just stumbled upon this place, and we're going to make him feel like he made a good decision. All right, Chief.
All right, Mayor, Officer Jared Herzog, if you'll come forward. Officer Herzog is originally from Illinois. He moved to Glasgow with his girlfriend Lindsay, who's unable to be here tonight. They do have two doodles named Wilson and Archie. Officer Herzog attended Rockford University and Illinois and Tennessee Tech in Cookeville, Tennessee, where he played baseball. And when he moved to Kentucky, he applied with us, and here he is.
Congratulations. What did he say? You have two what?
Doodles.
Doodles, okay. 'Cause see, I've got to ask you if you ever fought a duel.
Ask him what his degree is in.
What is your degree in, sir?
Kinesiology, exercise science.
You need to get closer to the microphone on that.
Kinesiology, exercise science.
Okay, all right. That's pretty neat.
Thank you.
You got to practice that pronunciation. All right.
I had to look it
I'm-
up.
Huh?
I had to look it
Looked
up.
it up?
What did he say?
I can't say it back.
Kinesiology and exercise science.
Kinesiology. That's cool. Now, I want you to raise your right hand and listen to what I have to say, and we'll see if you agree with me, okay? I, Jared Herzog, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, that I will faithfully execute to the best of my ability the office of police officer according to law. And I do further solemnly swear that since the adoption of this present Constitution, I have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within this state nor out of it, nor have I accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have I acted as a second in carrying a challenge, nor aided or assisted any person thus offending. So help me God. I further solemnly swear that I am able to read and write the English language intelligibly, that I am sober, moral, and sagacious, and that I am at least 21 years of age, that I have never been convicted of a felony, and that as a police officer I will not interfere in any election, and that I will endeavor to the best of my ability to detect and prosecute all gamblers and others violating the laws against gaming. Do you agree with what I've just said to you?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, Officer Herzog. We're welcoming you to the Glasgow City Police Department. We think you're in a good place.
Mayor, at this time, Police Training Officer Sergeant Harden will pin his badge.
Wonderful. And I would like to do that, but I wish these guys would get around here for a big picture. How many people came up here just to see these guys sworn in? Can we do that?
Mayor, they'll do whatever you ask them to do. Guys, if you'll come on up.
That was good. That was the fastest one I've seen. Congratulations. We're gonna get the rest of these people up here. I'm gonna get this out of the way, and y'all can stand up here, because I just think this is a good show of camaraderie and respect.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
It's always exciting. These folks have a big job, and we appreciate them being involved from the ground up here with the police department.
We always appreciate the families being
Yes,
here
we
too,
do.
right?
That's so nice that they're here too, and they're proud, as they should be. This is not a, the training they have to go through is pretty rigorous. All right, let's move down the agenda right here, and I've got next. I'm going to introduce our Councilwoman Elizabeth Shoemaker, who wants to introduce some people to our council tonight. Elizabeth?
Being part of the city council, each one of us serves on a different committee. I was assigned the Plaza Committee, and I was so glad to be on this committee because I grew up with the historical Plaza. I noticed during lots of our meeting, one topic continued to come up, and that was the idea of creating a Friends of the Plaza organization. So I volunteered to take on the challenge of seeing if I could find enough volunteers willing to make this happen. And believe me, I've done a lot of begging and a lot of calling. By the following month, I had 6 wonderful people who volunteered their time to help this vision come to life. By April, we had met with an attorney to begin the legal process. Since then, we have voted on a logo. We have officially established our name. We've set up a bank account. We've obtained our E1N number, and we have secured 501c3 nonprofit status.
Oh.
So a lot happened within those 2 months. Our purpose is very simple, but it's also very important. We hope to support, promote, and enhance activities surrounding our plaza while helping preserve the historical building. In other words, our mission is to raise funds, to work together, to determine what projects and improvements should be first. I'm very excited to officially introduce Friends of the Plaza Corporation, and our board members include, if you are here, I'll let you stand up. Of course, I'm on the board, Katie Bowman, Melissa Basinger, Sarah Just, Lynn Fields is absent, Gwen Barber, Peggy Bates, I believe she's absent, Meg Ellis, and Beverly Mortimer is absent. Each one of these individuals, they bring something unique to the table, but we all share a common passion that's improving and preserving our plaza for all the generations that come. We're a brand new organization, and while we have work to do, we can officially help Plaza in ways that we envision, and we are excited about what lies ahead. At this point, we have not began fundraising, which means we currently have no funds. If you or your business would like to sponsor or support Friends of the Plaza Corporation, please reach out to us. I would like to thank Carolyn. She's the director of the Plaza. She really supports this, and she sent me some people that are very knowledgeable. They work in the areas that's going to make this a really good corporation. The Plaza Committee, they are very happy to have someone to come on board to help with some finances and to make some improvements, and the mayor for his support of this. And these ladies have worked very hard, you know, just to come up with our ideas of what we need to do and how we need to do it, and we're trying to make sure we do it all legal. So you all give these people a hand. And I want to say that Gage was on the committee, but something happened, he left us.
Okay. We'll quiz him later on that. Well, I have been to one of the board meetings where these ladies have attended, and they're all raring to go. I think it's really, I congratulate you, Elizabeth, for getting them pumped up, because I think it's something that's probably needed to have happened for a long time. So thank you all for being here and for being involved with the Plaza. It's a special place. Thank you. All right. We're going to go to some old business. Rich?
Next item is the second reading of the ordinance adopting the City of Glasgow annual budget for fiscal year July 1, 26 through June 30, 27, establishing revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operation of city government. Whereas an annual budget proposal and message has been prepared and delivered to the City Council, and whereas the City Council has reviewed such budget proposal and made necessary modifications, Now therefore be it hereby ordained by the City of Glasgow, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, that the annual budget for fiscal year July 1, 2026 and ending June 30, 27 is hereby adopted as follows. In the first reading on June 8th, I went through each and every item. For second reading, that's not required, so I'm going to simply go down to the estimated year-end balances. The estimated carryover as of June 2026 is $21,671,239. The estimated revenue for the upcoming fiscal year, July 1, 26 through June 30, 27, is $29,214,790. The estimated expenses for that same upcoming fiscal year is $28,102,925.14, and that would leave then an estimated fund balance at the end of the upcoming fiscal year of $22,783,103.86. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as of July 1 of 2026, according to passage and publication as required by law. A copy of this information, the entire proposed budget, and additional background materials are available for public inspection at City Hall during normal business hours.
Okay, thank you, Rich. You have heard the second reading of this ordinance. We read it in its entirety, maybe a little bit longer presentation at the first reading. This is just the abbreviated second reading since everybody's had it and everybody's had a chance to go over it. So at this point, we need to put it up for consideration on the second reading in order to get it into law. So I will entertain a motion from a council member that we approve the second reading of this ordinance.
Motion, Bunnell.
Okay, we have Councilman Bunnell with a second, or with a motion. What about a second?
Second, Norris.
Okay, we have a motion and a second that we approve this particular budget on second reading. At this point, I would open it up if there's any discussion before we vote. There being none, then I will ask the clerk.
Could you explain, just looking, glancing over this, there was a pretty good increase in the administrative budget there on page 4 from year 26. Well, 26, 27, I looked at, there was like a 31.5% increase there from 488 million to 641 million, and then pretty large, even much larger from I know you weren't here in 2004, Victoria, but you probably can't answer this. So, but it was, even a huge, much larger increase there from 383,678 to 641,000, almost. Well, that's about a 67% increase there. That's on page 4. What I'm looking at, the top line, administrative salaried employees. Could you address that?
Yes, so if you're looking at the 2026 budget, that's $488,850. Moving to the 2027 budget, this is for the admin salaried employees at the very top. It did go to $641,196. The difference in that is that 2 employees, admin-wise, that were previously hourly employees are now salaried employees. So that cost is up in the salaried. And then for hourly, you can see it went from $214,900 down to $129,460. So 2 employees that were previously salaried or hourly went to salary. And then there is an additional spot in there for an additional finance person.
That, like your assistant, or, additional, the same thing you are, or?
It'd be like a finance officer.
So it would be the same role that she has. The city treasurer.
We'd have 2 of them?
No, it wouldn't be the same position. It's an assistant in the office.
Right, so I'm city treasurer, and we currently have 2 finance
Did we
officers.
not
So it would be an
there was-
additional finance officer.
Well, I thought someone came in to the finance meeting. I thought somebody had been hired for that. But, okay, and
Not
so you don't have any idea on the 2027, the increase there is, I guess, looking from the 24, 20 to 27, which is about a 67% increase there.
Not know, I wasn't here, but I'm assuming in whatever raises we did. That number does include the COLA that is proposed in this budget as well.
And I know we gave the 2.7 across the board. I used to know from the school system, not asking for a specific number, but like a 2% raise across the city. Is there a magic, is that a $200,000 increase or roughly to give everybody a 2% raise? Is it 400,000? I know there's a lot of skill differences, but if you're going on a median 50,000, say just for example, a $50,000 salaried employee, if that's the average salary, what that would cost to do 2% raise. Now, what did it cost this time to give the 2.7 for the city?
You want to know the difference or the amount of the 2.7 increase?
Well, if you got how many, you got 187 or 190 employees or something in that nature?
170-ish, 174 maybe was the last that I heard for employees. I think I'm confused. That's what you're asking, Randy. I'm sorry.
Well, just.
Are you wanting to know the exact dollar
No,
amount?
I sure don't know the exact,
Okay.
I know that's impossible because there's different salaries all the way around.
Yeah.
But to give a 2% raise to all the employees, or if you wanted to give, which a 4% would be a double, does it cost you, I'm looking at this again from a school standpoint, we knew what it cost to give a 2% raise and, roughly, that
Right.
was $200,000, $250,000, $240,000 that it was going to add to the budget if we gave a raise. So that's kind of what I'm asking. Is there do you
Right,
know
and I
what it
have-
costs to give the 2.7? Then I can do the math in my head.
I don't
probably.
have that exact number, but I have it broken down by department, by wages, and then obviously if you do a 2.7 for the wages, that also increases your FICA, your Medicare, your pension costs and things like that. But I don't have the exact number of the full 2.7.
Well, I'd be interested in that. Just
Yeah.
So, if you're looking at raises, you kind of know when we're sitting here looking at expenses, if we gave a 2% raise, if you gave a 4% raise, man, that's going to cost the city $500,000, counting all the FICA and all the stuff.
And like I said, I do have that number. I can go the exact number.
I
I
don't
just
need it
don't have
right
it off the
now,
top of your
but
head.
I think that's, to me, that's, not interesting, that's
course.
important. And,
Yeah, you want to see what the difference
I would
is,
like.
just based on that. Yeah.
That gives me a better idea of when you're talking about raises and the COLA, what's that really costing the city, what's it costing the taxpayers along the way. So, I would like to know that, and so you couldn't answer the 67% increase there from 2024.
Well, and I also want to point out, if you're comparing the 2024 actual to the 2027, you said 20, okay, I'm sorry, never mind.
The actual, yes, I am.
Basically what we had discussed about how if you're looking at the 2025 actual, this was printed on that actual number from last year. The previous budget was printed on the May 22nd, like we had talked about. Sorry, you said 2024. Go ahead.
Yeah, and just, it's just a pretty good increase, and I just wonder maybe where that was at. Was there more people, or more
Well,
people employed, or, bigger raises, or?
Hey, Councilman Wilkes, I would like to address that. If you're looking at 2024 actual and comparing to the budget for 2027, there's a large there's an increase there, but we're talking about a 3-year span there. We're talking a 3-year span. We've had additional staff members, and we've increased payroll during that time period. So the city has grown. There's work has been needed to be done, and in the administrative side, there's been more tasks assigned, and there's been more employees hired to that. So as activities increase for the city, then we've got to keep pace with it, with payroll and with number of employees. So I don't think you can go back 3 years and compare it back coming up with it.
Well, I mean, you probably can't, but unless you say the city's grown, the population grown, I know how bulk, office, I don't like to see the big increases. I didn't like to see it when I was working in the school system. It needs to be where it needs to be. Out there in those guys out there, that's where the increases needs to be, where the metal hits the floor, and not in the around this area. I know you got to have some. I know there's increases. You have 2.7, and we don't know that. I'm not going to sit here and fuss and argue over that. But it's a big increase. I mean, you can't sit here and tell me that's not in 3 years' time. Nobody's. I wouldn't think their salaries has gone up that much, and 67%.
What I'd like to add is a lot of times, and this was new to me when I first started, the actual and what we budget never seem to match because things happen. So during the year of 24, the last time we had an actual, if you wanted to, you wouldn't be able to compare it, like she said, the new employees. That's the actual for, say, if you had 28 employees or 30 employees up through 23, then the actual reflects the money from the budgets from those previous years. And then when they add it together, what you end up is, here's the actual amount spent, which never matches what we budget for. So in this case, if we have new employees, and it's been 3 years since that last actual, then a quick way for you to answer this question would be take 24's number for the whole system and just multiply it by 2.8 with the understanding that we may have 40 employees now versus 30, and that would push up that number significant. And we're budgeting for 40. The actual may come in less, or it could come in more. Is that right, Councilman Bonnell? Actual budget versus, yeah.
I mean, if you look at the, again, I mean, we're looking at one item and a $30 million budget, but we're looking at a 2026 budget of $488,000 in administrative. Compared that to the actual in 2024, and that's a 27% increase. Look at your budget for 2026 Compare that to 2024.
I'm comparing 2024 to 2027.
Okay, but I'm trying to get us to think though of what we know happened in the last budget we were in, and go to Councilman Tree, what he was explaining there. Yeah, we budgeted a larger number. We think this is a fair number going into 2027. The treasurer has explained that we've got more personnel. We've changed people around, so you know the cost of doing business has gone up for the city. I mean, everything that we do as a city has increased. We fill out more regulations.
This is just
more
salaries,
compliance. This is
right?
salaries, yes,
Right.
but we've
So,
got
I
to
mean,
have
to
personnel.
me, that's a large, and I'm not going to argue with it.
Don't,
To me, it's
yeah.
a large, the 67% is a large increase, but that's, here and
Okay.
there, it is what it is, and, you know, actual to me is a budget. I mean, that's, the number that's here, I'm assuming 2024 was pretty accurate. You know, there's
Well, the
nothing-
2024 number on this budget sheet is an actual number.
Right.
Yes.
Okay,
But there
and this is a estimate that it's, we haven't got 2027, I understand that, but that's what's budgeted. And then when you look at those two, it's a pretty good increase in
It is.
numbers.
I agree. I would agree with you. It is a good increase. But I also know that the staff that we have, the activities they're doing more activities. We're having to pay more to keep qualified staff. And so there's a lot goes into that. And so it's not going to, I mean, next year it's probably going to be higher. I mean, payroll is not going to go down. Payroll will not stay flat.
And
can go down.
And gentlemen, I would say that if we could go back and look, it's somewhere, if we look at the actual budgeted, what was budgeted and then what ended up being the actual, it's going to be a lot different. And it would be based on the budget that they did for, what year would that have been? 23? If we have the actual in 24, would have been the budget. And I would say the 3 years since then, the budget has went up every year, Randy. So it probably went up 20% each of those years. It just does, it. You know, if you look at it from the actual from 24 to 27's budget. So
You're not only looking at raises though, too, and it's not only raises. There has been, how do I want to say this? People have been replaced, but they've also added new positions to.
Hope so, for that amount.
Let me,
I hope there's a lot more people
let me
somewhere.
plug in three vital pieces of information. Last year, we did not give a cost of living adjustment. So we started off this year behind. I'm so proud that we're able to pay our employees at least the amount of money it costs them to live, cost of living adjustment. That plus, well, the January, the first year I was in office, we were down by 12 police officers. Since that time, we now are completely full. It costs more money just on paper because we have the right number of police officers here as far as instead of being down by 12 officers. And then the third thing I would like to say is that I don't really know what school teachers make, but I'm sure it's not enough. The same thing can be said for police officers, can be said for fire department people. The competition for people, if you have the reputation that our police department, our fire department, and all of our other people have, we have people coming after our people all the time. So we've got to do what we can do to, because we spend a lot of time training people because we lose them to other people. So we've got to be competitive or we'll have nothing but trainees on the police department. And that's part of shoring this up. And that's why I'm really pleased that Victoria worked really hard to get us back in the correct lineup of how to do it. It's painful, but we're there.
I agree with everything you said about the police and the fire and all those people. I know they're probably underpaid. I mean, I'm sure
Very
they are.
underpaid.
So, but, I thought this was administrative, so I salaried employees.
And I don't know what, those were some people, what was that, Victoria? Some people that were on hourly and now they're on salary, is that right?
Like I said at the very beginning, there were 2 people that were hourly employees. They are now salaried. So you will see a jump in the salaried employees line, but you're also going to see a decrease of just shy of $100,000 in that hourly employee line. So they just moved
that's
up
about a net of what?
a line. Yeah. So the salary we're at 488, and now they're at 641. But the hourly we're at 214. Now they're at 129. So that's the difference. And there is.
And you said you're budgeting for another employee, which, again, that kind of makes sense. I was just going back to the 2024 to 2027.
Right, yeah, I think it's hard to compare 3 years ago. I mean, usually every year there are salary changes, but I think it's, in my opinion, a better look at the 2026 budget versus the 2027 budget to
I have a
compare those two
question.
numbers.
I don't know who can answer it. You said nobody got a COLA raise last year, correct?
Right.
Did admin get a raise?
No.
Okay.
It was like on the hour, 50 cents an hour or something like that.
Okay, I'm being told it was 50 cents. I was not here last year, so I'm not going to speak for them, but I was
Which
told
was
it
way
50
below what the
cents an
COLA
hour.
was last year. The last year, the COLA wasn't at 2.9%?
Again, I wasn't here, but I think it was. I think it was 2.9 for 2024. 2025 is the 2.7. I believe so.
That's right.
Is that something that will continue, Mayor?
Well, the state is the one that calculates that. The state says,
The Department of Local Government.
the DLG, the Department of Local Government says, based on however we calculate this, your cost of living adjustment for your employees needs to be, it seems like it was 2.71 specifically, but we rounded it down to 2.70 this year. But that, in other words, that's a lot more than what we did last year. Just trying to get, because if we've got to keep up, because there's people coming after, we have good employees. We're not just taking the bottom of the barrel, and we've got to pay competitively.
And Mary, I believe, somebody helped me back there in the back. I think it's done COLA, because for the military, they'll tell us you're getting a call slip, but usually it takes about 2 years to figure out what's going on. Is that still the case? Does the state do a 2-year? Normally, Fed states follow the same pattern that's usually, or do they do it annually?
They recommend it every year, I believe. The DLG does.
Lance, what are you saying? Annually, okay, all right. Don't whisper, we got to hear you.
Like to point out to Councilman Wilkinson and to everyone listening, the net difference between the first line and the second line in the 2026 budget and the 2027 budget is a net difference of $66,906. That's what we're talking about today. That's the difference, the net difference between those 2 lines.
I understand there's not that. I was looking at 2024. If you want to add those-
But let's go back to, last year we had same, no, last year we had a budget here, okay? And we could have compared back to 2024. But to compare it to the budget we approved a year ago, the net increase in the payroll on the administrative side is a net number of $66,906.
With a full police department.
That's on the administrative side.
Yeah, right.
Okay, and we're adding 1 person. And so what I'm saying to you is that's not a lot of money in payroll on the administrative side for the increase in payroll and the increase in a person. So I think we're moving the right way to, as the mayor said, we got to pay for talent and you got to pay. And I think we're good to do that. from a
If we
budgeting
don't continue
standpoint.
to do that, we're going to be losing.
Yeah, and here's a good point. We all got to remember, if when we have an employee that he or she retires from us and we come bring somebody in new, guess where we got to start them in the pay salary range? It's more expensive to bring that new person in. So that's got to be reflected in this. So everybody needs to be aware of that. But the bottom line, the number to us between the two lines is just about $67,000.
You said administrative, so I'm assuming this is not counting the police. And so
That's
that's
in their
what I'm
separate
talking, I
department.
haven't talked about the police or the fire.
Oh, I
I'm
thought that
talking
was
about the
included.
This is just administrative is what I'm talking about. You get me?
I do now.
Not police, not fire, not infrastructure, that's what I pointed back there. I'm for them getting tons of, I don't say tons, but like I said, there's one bucket of money, and you got to make it go around as best you can, and unless you raise taxes or find some kind of other revenue to go through. So that's my point is, I'm not talking about those folks in the police.
I take everything I said back.
I thought but again,
And Randy, again, that 24 actual there was a 23 budget that went through this same process. Now, during that same time frame, the administrative section probably has went from, they would have the numbers, probably went, I'm just randomly, say it went from 20 to 30. So now you had 10 employees and with a cost of living allowance in it, that right, all of those numbers would push up. So what should have been a normal 20% with cost of living allowance and everything else, I think is what's pushed it over the 50 or
we
60.
said the cost of living is 2.7, and I'm showing you 67% increase. So, I mean, there's quite a bit of difference between 2.7 and, even if you get 2.7 plus times 3, you know, that's 9% at the maximum or 8% in 3 years if you got that every time. So, you know, there's just a big difference. So that was my question. You did a good job answering the best, not being here. So thank you very much, and
Any other discussion?
answered my question somewhat.
I just want to tell Victoria that her knowledge is amazing on a budget. She's so friendly and willing to help. It makes you want to go to her and ask questions.
Very good.
So thank you.
Other discussion? I'll ask Clerk Young to call the roll and a roll call vote on this second reading of this.
Kirkpatrick,
Yes.
Trigg,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Shoemaker,
Yes.
Neal,
Yes.
Wilkerson,
Yes.
Bunnell,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Lowry.
All right, there we have it. Thank you all very much. And I'm hats off to everybody who's worked so hard, from department heads to Victoria and her department assistants, everybody downstairs. This is a big, big, big task. And next year is going to be twice as easy because of the kind of effort that was put into it this time. So we'll move on down the agenda right here to some new business. Rich?
Next item is a resolution authorizing the city to dispose of surplus property pursuant to law that the Glasgow Police Department has designated as surplus. That whereas the Glasgow Police Department possesses certain personal property which is more particularly described as Exhibit A, whereas the personal property described in Exhibit A is of sufficient age that the department desires to sell because the department now possesses newer equipment which better meets the current needs. Whereas it would be suitable and consistent with the public interest for the personal property to be declared surplus and its disposal authorized according to law. Now therefore, in light of the foregoing recitals, be it hereby resolved by the city as follows. Section 1, pursuant to KRS 82.083, subparagraph 3, the following written determinations are made. A, the property to be surplused is the personal property more particularly described. B, the intended use of this personal property at the time of its acquisition was for the use and benefit of the Glasgow Police Department and its daily operations. C, the reason why it is in the public interest to dispose of the personal property is because the property is in poor condition and that it is best suited for the department to dispose of same and use newer equipment which it currently possesses. D, the method of disposition to be used shall be by any applicable means authorized by KRS Chapter 82. Section 2, the property described above is hereby declared surplus. Section 3, the property shall be disposed of by all means authorized by KRS 82.083, subparagraph 4, that are applicable to this particular circumstance. Section 4, Mayor Royce is authorized and directed to take any and all action necessary to carry out the actions contemplated herein.
All right, you've heard the resolution. I will entertain a motion that we bring it up on the table for a vote.
Motion, Benel.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, from Councilman Neal. Any discussion on this resolution? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay. Motion or the resolution passes.
Next item is a resolution authorizing the mayor to make decisions and to sign documents related to the disposal of real estate acquired by the city due to delinquent taxes and code enforcement actions. That whereas the city of Glasgow occasionally pursues foreclosure of liens for cleaning up real estate, delinquent taxes, and other code enforcement issues. And whereas upon acquiring title to said properties, the city must mow, maintain, and care for same, and frequently has more money invested in the property than it is worth, thereby creating a need to dispose of said properties as quickly as possible, frequently at a loss. Now therefore be it resolved by the city of Glasgow that the mayor shall be and hereby is granted authority to make all decisions regarding sale and disposition of the aforementioned real properties and to sign all documents in furtherance of this power, including but not limited to deeds and settlement statements, with all funds generated thereby to be returned to the Glasgow General Fund.
All right, you've heard the resolution being read. I would first of all entertain a motion that we approve this resolution.
Norris.
Is there a second?
Second.
From Councilman Burris. All right, discussion.
Will, like, the sales of that still have to follow the regulations. Won't they be advertised or put on the city web? That kind of format will still have to be followed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yeah. Most of this comes through codes enforcement.
How often do we do this? Is it necessary to do this? When you have a certain number?
I would estimate that since Mayor Royce has been in office, we've probably done it 4 times, maybe, something like that.
All right, other discussion?
Process typically, is it open seal? How do y'all do that? I'm just wondering now.
By law, you have to put it out for bid no less than 7 days. Put it out for bid, and then a bid deadline. Yep.
A lot of people are always interested in it, for sure. All right, other discussion. Let's make sure we know what we're voting on. I'll call the question then. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. All right, the resolution passes.
Next item is a resolution for the city to make application for a grant with FEMA assistance to purchase various hoses, nozzles, and appliances for the Glasgow Fire Department. Be it hereby resolved by the city that April Russell, grant writer, shall be and hereby is authorized and directed to make application on behalf of the city for a grant in the amount of $55,495.84 that will be administered through the FEMA assistance program, which will be used, if received, for the purpose of purchasing various hoses, nozzles, and appliances for the Glasgow Fire Department. If received, the local share amount shall be 5% matching, which would then result in the city's responsibility being $2,642.66. Therefore, the total grant would be $58,138.50. Be it that further resolved by the city that Mayor Royce is authorized and directed to execute all documents necessary to make application for this grant.
All right, you have heard the resolution, a grant to get some FEMA assistance on things we need at the fire department. I entertain a motion that we approve this resolution.
So moved, Benel.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Councilman Neal. Is there discussion? No discussion? Well, I'll call the question. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Like sign. All right, the resolution is approved.
Mayor, the next 2 items are identical resolutions, one for the water company, the other for the Glasgow Electric Plant Board. So I'll read the first one as it relates to the water company, but the second one will be identical, again, just applying to the Electric Plant Board. So this is a resolution authorizing the filing of an application and acceptance, if awarded, through the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, for its Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities program to fund multiple mitigation projects on behalf of the Glasgow Water Company. That whereas the Robert T. Stafford Disaster Relief and Emergency Assistance Act and the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act have made funds available through FEMA under the Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities Program for the 2024 and 25 fiscal years to fund hazard mitigation activities with the goal of lowering future disaster costs. Whereas the Glasgow Water and Sewer Commission wishes to submit a project application to FEMA for this funding, whereas the Glasgow Water Company is not eligible as a subrecipient for this fund according to the relevant notice of funding opportunity. Whereas the City of Glasgow, however, is eligible subrecipient for the funding according to the relevant notice of funding opportunity. Whereas the City of Glasgow can submit an application for this funding on behalf of the Glasgow Water Company, and whereas the City of Glasgow desires to promote the implementation of cost-effective hazard mitigation measures for the Glasgow Water Company in order to improve energy resiliency and reliability for the city's residents. Whereas the program requires a 25% local cost share, and the Glasgow Water Company has agreed to bear sole responsibility for covering the local match funding requirements. Now therefore be it hereby resolved by the City Council that the city is authorized to make an application for the 2024-2025 grant with the Federal Emergency Management Agency on behalf of the Glasgow Water Company. Be it further resolved that if a project is awarded by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the City of Glasgow and the Water Company will develop and cause to be executed a memorandum of understanding outlining their individual roles and responsibilities, including financial obligations with regard to the expenditure and management of any awarded grant funds. Be it further resolved that April Russell, grant writer for the city, is to be the city's designated point of contact for official FEMA and Kentucky emergency management communications regarding the project application and any related awards. And lastly, be it further resolved by the city that Mayor Royce is authorized and directed to execute all documents necessary to make application for this grant and cause them to be submitted to FEMA.
I'm going to ask for a motion that we approve the resolution first for the Glasgow Water Company in a second, then we'll vote on that. We'll come right back with the same information and vote on the one for the EPB. Is that okay with you, Counselor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to entertain a motion that we approve this resolution, the FEMA Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities BRIC program for the Glasgow Water Company to be the recipient.
Motion.
From Councilman Neal. Is there a second?
Second.
From Councilman Burris. What about discussion on these on this item?
Mayor, in the past, whenever we've had major incidents and accidents, we depend on, or we hope FEMA declares a disaster preparedness thing. So I think the attempt here is, in case folks aren't, the attempt here is to say, we know Glasgow's water, a lot of the water lines are 50+ years old. We know that we don't have electric poles in there. So I believe the intention is for them to be able to go out now in advance and try to fund this before we have to try to fund it during a major disaster. And then everyone knows a lot of times they promise money, but if it doesn't flow, then we have to take it out of high. So I think the public needs to be aware this is to try to prevent having to pay for the infrastructure in the future if they'll approve the project. Is that correct?
That's a good summary. Yeah, just to get out in front of it. That's
Yeah,
correct.
preventive maintenance, and that'll eliminate the downtime of the disaster, too. Okay, other discussion about this particular resolution? There being none, I'll call the question. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Like sign? Okay. Let's turn right around on the same school of thought. We're going to take a motion to authorize the acceptance of FEMA for its building resilience infrastructure communities with respect to the Glasgow Electric Plant Board. I will entertain a motion that we approve that resolution.
Motion, Benel.
Okay.
Second, Norris.
Second from Councilman Norris. Okay. What about discussion on this one? And I'm sure, Joe, this what you said is applicable to the plant board just like it is with the Glasgow Water Company.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So, any other discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. All right, we are signing up for the BRIC programs.
Last two items are municipal orders of reappointment. The first one, on order of the mayor, Clay Thistlethwaite is hereby appointed to the Historic Preservation Commission. This appointment is a 2-year term expiring June 30, 2028.
Okay, you've heard that Clay Thistlethwaite has been nominated to come on board for the Historic Preservation Commission for a 2-year term. Entertain a motion that we approve this.
Motion.
From Councilman Neal, is there a second?
Second by now.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. What about discussion? All right, if there's no discussion, I'll call the question. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. The municipal order is approved.
And the last item is municipal order reappointing Debbie Livingston to the Glasgow Economic Development Loan Fund Board of Directors. This appointment is for a 2-year term expiring June 30, 2028.
All right, you've heard the reading. Debbie Livingston, who has served several terms on the Glasgow Economic Development Loan Fund, has agreed to be back on it. I will entertain a motion that we approve her as such.
Motion by now.
Is there a second?
Second.
From Councilman Burris. Any discussion on Debbie Livingston being reappointed to the Glasgow Economic Development Loan Fund Board? There being none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. All right. Very good. I want you all to know that tomorrow night you have a chance to go and comment on the strategic plan for Barron County. This is kind of neat. The first public meeting of its kind is going to happen out at the Barron County Fair, out at the Temple Hill Lions Club Fairgrounds. 5:30. It's a drop-in sort of a thing. You can kind of drop in and write down what you would like to see with respect to the strategic plan for Barron County. They'll be there. I think it's 5:30. It's about an hour into April. Okay, so that's going to be, the meeting be come and go as you like, and drop in your comments and enjoy that going down to the Barron County Fair and plan for the future.
Mayor, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
On this event. So you know how the city does its 5-year plan? I'm assuming that the county has a 5-year plan. Is this to offset this, or is this a 1-year plan just for the county, not the city? Is that the intent of?
This is a program that is initiated by Brad. Brad is doing this, and this is the way that they are setting it up, is to have several meetings for the same purpose in several locations. This is being the first one, and I haven't seen the other locations that they're going to do, but they're trying to come up with a way to get people more engaged by doing it different places at different times. So this is the first one, and I'm trying to think that I believe that they said that there's probably going to be 5 different opportunities to comment on this, but this is just the first one. Tomorrow night out at the fair, Joe. That's about the best answer that I can give you, sir. Also, on Thursday night, this place is going to really shine. 7:30 on the Glasgow Square. It's the Louisville Orchestra. The Louisville Orchestra loves coming to Glasgow. They love being a part of our community and our community celebration. So make your plans to be down here. It's going to be at 7:30. Be watching. We'll have some more information about food and some other things you might want to know about. But that is coming up on this Thursday evening. Friday, out at the Parks and Recreation Department, it's the second Movies Under the Stars at Beaver Creek Park. It's going to be the movie Wicked. And it'll start at dusk, and it's free admission, so come out and enjoy that. Then we have City Hall and other city administrative offices closed for Friday, July the 3rd, in observance of the July the 4th holiday. And then get ready for the 31st day of July. Entertain Glasgow is going to welcome the Green River Band to perform on the Glasgow Square. This will be a continuation of America's 250th celebration, with another event at Beaver Trail Park the next night, August the 1st. This is going to be Daryl Worley, who's going to be here in Glasgow. He's very much a famous country music star, and he's bringing one of our local favorites, Colton Keiss, with him. They'll also be having free kids activities during the event, closing out the show with a drone show finale. You got to put this on your notes because this drone show is going to be spectacular. They've put a lot of time into this, and you want to be sure and be there for every one of those events. And other than that, I'll remind you the next regular council meeting will be July the 13th at 6 p.m., and I will entertain a
Mayor Royce, before we do
That's
adjourn.
right, Terry, you asked me, and I, sitting here, had so much on my mind, I really want you to talk about the Community Foundation.
On July the 26th, that's a Sunday afternoon from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, we're going to have a ceremony here to dedicate this building, the Luska J. Twyman Municipal Building. So put that on your calendars, July the 26th, Sunday, it's a Sunday. It'll be from 2 to 4. We're going to dedicate the building. We have a bust of former Mayor Twyman to unveil. We'll have some folks speak during the program. We'll have light refreshments, but a good opportunity to reflect upon Mayor Twyman, his contributions to our community in very, very many ways. And so we want the public to come out and join us and celebrate this. It's a great time. We have some speakers lined up, but it's really an opportunity to fellowship and to recognize the legacy that's been a part of our community that made us who we are today. So, again, the 26th of July.
I'm glad you've brought that up so we can start. Be sure and let your friends know because this is going to be a big celebration of a very historic person who shaped where we are today in Glasgow for sure. Now, I will entertain a motion that we adjourn.
Motion, Bunnell.
Second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All right, y'all have a good evening. See you later, Madam Italian.